So I've been playing video games for a long time and, have seen a lot of controversial stuff in the past. And I've played good games, bad games, and questionable games, and what have you. But I think Assassin's Creed Shadows is the first game I've ever seen that got called for cancellation. Like, I've seen people hate on games and publishers and all that, but I'm not sure if there was any game that kind of antagonizes an entire culture. Antagonize might be the wrong word here, but it definitely feels like that. I mean, as soon as the first trailer dropped, we had Japanese players all come out and, basically set it on fire and demanded Ubisoft to stop making the game. Even the people who didn't play games knew about this controversy. And at one point, I think like some Japanese politician or something like that made a statement about this whole thing. Not sure of how high ranking he was, but for a video game to reach the government of a country is pretty wild. And like what makes it worse is that Ubisoft hadn't been exactly in good favors with gamers in the past couple of years. All their recent releases have been nothing but slops. Politics aside, all of their so-called quadruple A games were just terrible. Avatars was extremely mid, and the first-person camera was such a weird choice, like it wasn't even an option. Why play that when I can just play Far Cry? Or why play Star Wars Outlaws when I can just play Jedi Survivor? Why bother with Skull and Bones when I have Black Flag? I mean, all these new games had absolutely no substance and added nothing to their catalog. And now, like, we have Shadows, and that's pretty much their last chance. I mean, it's their only chance. And the thing is, it had always been the case. Ubisoft knew exactly how all their new games performed, and have always relied on AC Shadows to do well. But somehow they managed to mess that up even before it's released. So we won't talk too much about Yasuke and why they chose him to be a protagonist. Because, I mean, we all know the reason behind it, and even they know that we know. What I want to talk about is one of the most iconic features of Assassin's Creed as a franchise, and that's the ability to, pretty much kill any NPC in the game. And in a setting like ancient Japan, pretty much all you're going to see are the indigenous folks. So what a Japanese player is going to look at is they have a big black dude going around killing everyone in town. And also there was this really important detail that we saw in the previews, and that's how revered Yasuke was and how the NPCs were bowing to him to show respect as he walked by. And now you're telling me he can slaughter them as well? See, that's not going to sit well with a lot of Japanese gamers. I mean, obviously, not all of them would care, but a majority of them would probably feel really weird about it. And in all the gameplay trailers that we've seen, I think I saw this one tiny clip of a guy playing Yasuke, and he was like trying to kill an NPC with a bow, and he was running away. So I guess they're keeping that feature in this game. And then there were some people saying that we could kill the civilians, but not some Portuguese merchant or whatever. But I mean, to be fair, we were never able to kill merchants in Assassin's Creed, except for Valhalla. And even in that game, you would have to go out of your way to kill them. And that's why I said AC Shadows is in a really, really tough spot right now. It's probably one of the most scrutinized, not just games, but digital products. It's right up there next to crypto and NFTs or whatever. Basically, at this point, every little thing Ubisoft does there will be 78 videos on YouTube about it within the next hour. And they'll talk about it for days, farming all those views. Some channels will make multiple videos about one single piece of news, but it is what it is. And the situation now is that everyone is waiting for Ubisoft to fail, and the company is waiting for a miracle. And honestly, it seems like only a miracle can save them now with everything that's been happening. But one positive thing about all of this is that the game itself does look really good. The combat and the open world look very polished, and the graphics are even better than Origins. They're also adding base building into the game. So now if you're bored of killing people, you can take a break and play The Sims 4. But yeah, despite everything, I really like where they are headed in terms of gameplay and just the overall design. I've always been a fan of the RPG series, so I'm looking forward to see how Shadows will play. But realistically, I think Ubisoft has way too much riding on just one single game and not a very well received one. And considering everything that's been going on with this company, I just don't believe it would be enough to get them out of whatever hole they have dug themselves in. With a budget for a game like AC Shadows, I'm guessing they're going to need to sell somewhere around 10 million copies to even get anywhere. And I'm not really sure how many of those would come from Japan. But yeah, I guess what we're going to have to wait and see. Who knows, the devil may just answer in time. All right, so that's all I got for you today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon.